Hey everybody, John Granato and Lance Zierlein from the bench. Mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit the subscribe button right now so you can get all our content here on SportsMap on YouTube. Let's talk a little Texas football. Nick Caserio, been a busy guy since the free agency period has started, Lance. The biggest move saw the Texans trade Bernardrick McKinney for Shaq Lawson. And if the Texans weren't planning on keeping McKinney anyway, getting Lawson in here as an edge rusher, not a great edge rusher, but at least an edge rusher, not such a bad move.
No, he's a big physical player. He can rush quarterback a little bit. Former first rounder. This is now going to be his third team in 3 years. Went from Buffalo to Miami, spent 1 year in Miami, went to Houston. You know, it's possibly a one and done for him, but we'll see. He's a legitimate 4-3 defensive end where Whitney Merciless just simply is not that anymore. So it's a better fit for what the Texans want to do. They frankly were in a position where they wanted to get rid of Bernardrick McKinney and his salary cap spot, but so now they just flip-flop basically salaries, and then they get a position of need that they can fill. And then, of course, you know, to flip-flop that or to piggyback that, they're now going to sign Joe Thomas, linebacker, who's a backup. Christian Kirksey can play some starting linebacker for you. Camus Grugier-Hill is a guy who can get some starting reps for you, some backup reps. He's a special teams guy. I think they may still look to draft a linebacker. We'll see, or maybe allow there to be competition with whatever is on the roster currently. But it just right now, John, it looks like they're just fine-tuning, not even fine-tuning. They're just making the back half of the roster a little better in their estimation. These are not major moves. It's just meant to make the 53-man roster at least a little better on the back end, and definitely to help out with special teams.
Well, it's a lot of tinkering going on. It's certainly when you look at the Patriots or you look at the big moves that people are making, these are phase 2, phase 3 moves that the Texans are making at the beginning of free agency. And, you know, I don't know. Well, guys are sitting there and they might take less, or Caserio is saying, let's just get this out of the way now. We're not going to be able to make any big moves anyway. We might as well just get this stuff done. What'd you think about Marcus Cannon trading late pick swaps with the Patriots to bring in another tackle when you got a first-round tackle and you got a $22 million tackle? What do you think they're going to do with Cannon?
Well, I think that could be a sign that you don't think Tyus Howard is going to stay healthy. I mean, he hasn't been healthy the first 2 years in a consistent basis. Cannon, who's an older player, will be 33 this year. You know he can play right tackle. That could be that could be where we see Cannon play right tackle and they move Howard down to guard at some point. Or it could just be they just want a legitimate swing tackle because I don't think it's Roderick Johnson. He's a decent run blocker, not a very good pass protector. And Charlie Heck definitely wasn't ready last year. So this could be the team just saying, look, let's get a tackle that we know can step in and play, has NFL experience. We'll flip-flop some round, picks in the rounds because they don't really care about that as much. But it also could mean that Cannon eventually will be a right tackle starter, or even a right guard starter. I think right now you just want to get better players on a team. And Cannon, to me, is better than Heck, and I think he's better than Roderick Johnson. So in that regard, it's more of the same thing we just talked about, trying to make your roster a little better at different spots.
Yeah, we saw Cannon move in with the Patriots and actually play good football. So I think he's got to be on the field. You got to move Howard down. You got to put your best 5 guys out there, and Howard would be one of those guys. So you got to figure out some way, somehow, that you get those 5 on the field. And Cannon is definitely one of their 5 best linemen. I don't think that there's any question about that. These are not headline-making moves, certainly, like the Patriots on ESPN. They're just loving all these Patriots moves. But the Texans made headlines with their moves with Bill O'Brien. I mean, it's a year ago that DeAndre Hopkins was traded, and that made a lot of headlines. Everything that Bill O'Brien seemed to make headlines. Yet I'm happier with these moves by Caserio than I ever was with Bill O'Brien's moves.
Less is more, Bill. Don't do anything and we would have been happier. Like, seriously, don't even draft. Don't draft. Don't do free agency. Don't sign anybody to extensions. If Bill O'Brien would have been in a coma they would have had better moves with this team. Like, seriously, if Bill O'Brien and Jack Easterby had simultaneously gone into a coma, the Whitney Merciless deal would have never been done. Nick Martin deal would have never been done. They would have never traded a second for, given Randall Cobb his deal, traded that second you got for DeAndre Hopkins. Coma Bill O'Brien was a better general manager than lucent Bill O'Brien, lucent and angry.
It reminds me back in the day, Lance, when Kelvin Cato rolling around on the floor would have been
just
better
as many rebounds as
than
upright
Kelvin Cato, the Rocket, trying to grab some rebounds.
Wish it wasn't true, but it is.